What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike, and today I'm back with another car rant video. I guess I should start calling these. I wonder if I get in trouble for making these videos. I'm actually driving right now. I've got a client meeting, actually a client lunch at 1 p.m. today, and it's up in McKinney. So I'm taking my wife's new X3 up there to have to get our we have a sticker on the windshield that opens our gate, and we left in our old car. Plus, this brand new BMW has this little Harman Kardon speaker trim. It's like loose from the fascia of the inside of the car, and so I'm gonna have them look at that and see if they can. It shouldn't look like that. The other side is completely flush, so I think something's going on there. So I'm gonna have them look at that. And I'm gonna try something really quickly so that my hand is not covering the speaker constantly. So I decided to record a little video. Actually, now my hand's gonna cover the fuck. See, you can't win trying to. I really need some kind of mount for these cars. You can't win. My hand's either partially covering the speaker or partially covering the camera. Mainly because I just shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be driving and recording video, but I'm gonna be on the highway for the majority of the time, so I figured why not. So basically what I've been thinking about doing is on days that I spend a lot of time on the road, just doing some little car rant videos to continue to produce content. So just talk about whatever comes to mind. Today, the first topic of discussion is my D game. That has been a topic of discussion for months now, and it is looking like I'm an idiot, is what it's looking like. I have been through hell and high water trying to fix my D game, and last night was night number 2 of only 1 milligram of Cialis, and functionality was even better than the night before. So it really is looking like, and I think in my last video I kept saying it wrong. I kept saying PED5 inhibitor, probably because I have PEDs on the brain and I've had ED on the brain. It's actually a PDE5 inhibitor. What I've been taking is tadalafil. Again, for recap purposes, for those of you who are like, yeah, right, how are you taking 1 milligram of tadalafil? Well, I have 10 milligram Cialis pills, so I've crushed them into a fine powder, divided that number by 10, and so I'm taking 0.026 on my milligram scale. That has thus far been a sufficient dose to re-engage the activity of my D game. I cannot even believe it. I thought for sure it was going to not work last night. I thought for sure, I don't know why placebo effect would be a thing when it comes to D game that's been broke for 2 months on end. But it was even, things worked even better last night. In fact, last night my D game was back in such a way that I was experiencing some of the Trenbolone side effects where I felt like I could probably go forever. Luckily, I have not been having enough functional sex, and that ended up not being a problem. If this continues, then like I said, I'm gonna feel a lot better about producing some new fan content. We were gonna do that last night, but I did not get a good sleep the night before. I woke up to an unfortunate email about 7:20 in the morning. It pissed me off for about an hour and a half, and so I had to realign my mental framework in order to get over that slight setback, which has now actually turned into an incredible boon. This is why I tried to stay positive when I'm faced with negativity in my life, because as I've said multiple times, the Matrix has me. We are not free human beings as we think we are. We are running on a script, and more often than not, when something bad befalls you and you start trying to resist and control whatever's going on in your life, it's really all for naught. The analogy that I always give my wife is basically our lives function like this. We are in a river, a raging river, and we are going downstream. There is no changing that destination. The destination that we are heading to in life is predetermined by the river that we find ourselves in. What we can do is 2 things. We can just completely let go, and we can let Jesus take the wheel, whatever your particular belief system is. The beauty of my belief system is that it works with all belief systems. So if you happen to be a Christian, then do what your Bible says and let Jesus take the wheel. Trust in him. He has a plan for your life. Everything is going to be okay. I assume the same thing is true of Muslims. I don't know. I've never read your book. But if you happen to be an atheist, things are the same. You can sit and worry about life, but you don't really have any control over it. I think this is going to be hardest for atheists to believe. Although if you're a true atheist, then you're a scientist, and you know that there is absolutely no scientific basis for the idea of free will. We do not have free will. We are not free creatures. We are in the Matrix. We are, Jesus has the wheel. Whatever rendition of the story you want to believe in, the reality is that your life is pre-scripted for you. So, in my analogy, you can either give into this certainty, and you can go on downstream. I'm gonna put my camera down because there's a cop right here. You can go on downstream, and you can you can allow the stream to take you wherever it's going to take you. Or you can be the kind of person who basically tries to resist the programming. And so you are clawing and scrapping at every handhold on the side of the river that, you're grabbing at roots and trees sticking out into the river. And you might even succeed in grabbing one for a period of time, which is what gives you this illusion of control, is because, your life seems to be headed in one direction. You don't like it. And so you try to resist. You grab a handhold of a root, or maybe some floating debris, or you get, you grab this side of the bank and you hold on for dear life. But what always ends up happening is that you lose your grip and you end up going downstream anyway. You're never really capable of making any extreme changes just from your own free will. So the logical conclusion is, since we are not free, to just let go and let Jesus or the Matrix or Allah or whatever you want to call it take the wheel and take you to your next destination, because that's where you're going anyway. So, why am I saying all this? So when I got some information from my boss that I didn't like, at first I was pissed off, and then I realized, there's probably a good reason for this that I just have not seen yet. And what that good reason seems to be is that they want me to work from home a hell of a lot more than I had intended. I have been out in the sweltering Texas heat, going door to door in 103-degree temperatures, trying to get face to face with as many clients as possible. And it seems that they would much rather me sit at home on my computer and work the phones. So it's like, fucking rock on, I'll do that. I would much rather be at home with my family than knocking on doors in 103 blazing, sweltering, miserable Texas heat with like 85% humidity. This is no fun. This is decidedly no fun. So again, something that I thought was a negative, I didn't allow to get under my skin too much, and I just kind of roll with the punches, and thus far it's turned out to be incredibly positive. So as I said, right now I'm en route to BMW McKinney to get my to do basically run an errand, and then we're going to have barbecue for lunch. I have intentionally shorted my breakfast so that I can take full advantage of some good home Texas barbecue that I love. What else can we talk about? Oh yeah, so like I was saying, I've been trying to stay positive. I took another 1 milligram dose of Cialis, and the D game is back. It seems to be firing on all cylinders again. Again, because there's so many variables, I'm not going to call it case closed yet, although I probably could. There are going to be some changes coming up because I lowered my testosterone level again. So I'm back. I'm now down to 300 milligrams of Test-C per week, 400 milligrams, 400 milligrams of Masteron per week. I may have to lower that. 200 milligrams of Deca, 120 milligrams, give or take, of Tren Ace per week. I am happy to report that the Tren Ace is everything that I hoped it would be and more. If you have been in the Discord recently, you will know for sure, without the shadow of a doubt, that the Tren Ace has taken hold of my psyche. There was a complete and total idiot in our Discord by the name of Dr. Boofenstein, I believe was his name, and he got sacrificed to the Tren God yesterday. Couldn't take him, had to bounce him out of there. It will be a miracle. I had to warn one of the other guys. There's another guy in my Discord that sometimes gets under my skin, and I'm going to talk about it right now because apparently the Matrix is telling me to. This guy's a really nice guy. I really actually liked him for a long period of time. He has a lot of opinions about steroids and doesn't take any. He's like on TRT only. I think he's maybe I've got this guy wrong, but my understanding is that he's trying to build the best physique he can get on TRT only, which would be fine. But when you constantly get on my Discord and you talk about your knowledge of PEDs, which you don't have any, all you actually have is a knowledge of reading other people's opinions and forums and anecdotal reports and rumors and all that kind of crap. And so it's like one of these people who wants to talk a whole lot, like they know about PEDs, but they've never actually done them, to my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong. Please, if you're watching this video, correct me. And if you are watching this video and I'm wrong, and I'm not wrong, then be aware this shit's starting to get under my skin. Because it's like somebody who's never done PEDs but spends an inordinate amount of time watching other people talk about their experiences doesn't make you an expert. Okay, and so it's kind of like, I don't want to get, like, I'm not going to get crypto trading information from somebody who has a fucking Robinhood account and follows the ups and downs of the market but doesn't have the balls to actually get in and trade any real money, invest in any real currency. You know, you've never made any trades, you've never actually done anything, but you just kind of study the market a lot. It's like, great that you're, you know, better than the average guy and you at least do some fucking research. But to get in and throw your opinion around about what steroids work, what sources are good and respectable when you've never actually ponied up and done anything, that doesn't make any sense. Like, to me, that's the kind of thing you just keep to yourself until you actually get in the actual game, rather than just being this sort of scholar on the outside. Let me get a drink. Maybe that was my ASMR sip moment. Fucking stupid shit. I did drop some ASMR squirt clips into a couple of my videos. If you haven't seen those, it's kind of funny. So yeah, so I am definitely feeling the Tren Ace. It's making me homicidal. The weird thing so far is that typically when I have problems with Tren Ace come up, or Trenbolone come up, I mean, it causes me to have a real short temper with my wife and kids. I don't know if I'm just becoming a Trenbolone veteran or if the Ace is affecting me differently. I can't call it yet, but I'm not having any problems at home in my marriage at all. My kids, I have no irritation with them, no frustration. My road rage hasn't even actually been terribly bad. Really, what I have going on right now is just that all too common inability to cope with stupidity. Anything, processes at work, somebody says something dumb in the comments on one of my videos, I see somebody doing something objectively stupid. The thing that seems to be getting under my skin most is stupidity. And, and so I've kind of gotten good at heading it off, not letting it take too much of a grip over me. But last night, man, I mean, I literally warned everybody on my Discord. I was like, look, the Tren Ace is taking hold of me. I am literally looking for a fight with every single person I come into contact with. So I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get off here, let you guys carry on as usual before I start banning more people. Because for some reason, banning people on Discord, it actually feels good to me. It feels kind of it's like the online equivalent of punking somebody to their face, making a whole bunch of demands and ultimatums, and then watching them basically punk out, and you sort of get to lean over them like a dog in the pit. Like a pit bull in the dog park, and just punk the shit out of them to their faces, and then delete their existence. And so that really feels good to me. It gets my adrenaline up. It really seems to activate the Tren in my system. And once I've done, I asked one guy earlier in the day, and then it kind of creates like a cascading effect where I'm just looking for somebody else. It's like, who's going to be next? Who wants to step up to the sacrificial altar next and lay down your life before the Tren God? That's so stupid. I don't even know where this Tren God thing started. I say that I don't really believe that. I think, I don't know. Tren has changed my personality so strongly that I don't even really know who I am anymore. I've had multiple conversations with my wife recently, kind of looking back at my YouTube history before I quit my previous job at Sunbelt Material Handling, and I was trying to keep it on the reservation back then, and then at some point I just completely let go and let the Trenbolone take full control, and it definitely has changed my attitude a lot. It's made me a hell of a lot more aggressive. I don't take shit off of anybody. Even if that's a cop or a judge, unfortunately. I went ballistic on a judge the other day. So, be careful, man. It doesn't make you, I've said this a million times, Trenbolone doesn't turn you into a new person, but it can exacerbate all of the most negative sides of your personality, or the extremes of your personality. And, I mean, it can be good or bad, depending on what your natural personality type is like. It makes me just want to walk all over everyone I come into contact with. But it is certainly good for my job. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the people I work with may not love it, as the people that I worked with before didn't love it. But there's no doubt that, like, in front of customers, I am maybe the best at what I do. And the Tren plays a huge role in that. So, yeah, enough about that. What else can we talk about on this little driving and talking video? Did anybody watch or listen to, I guess you couldn't really watch it, did anybody listen to the Donald Trump Elon Musk interview? I caught the tail end of it, and it's one of those things that can be kind of hard to listen to. I really like both of these men. On intellectual levels, on policy levels, I think Trump is, without a doubt, from a policy perspective, he is going to do more good for this country than any president before him. That being said, listening to him talk can be more than a little bit nauseating. In the same way that Elon Musk is one of the most intelligent people that our world has ever produced. Not a great speaker, though. And so when you've got a guy like Donald Trump who's just obsessed, who's narcissistic to an extreme degree. And I don't know why it is with Trump. I don't know why everything that he does, he just has to tell the world that it was the best anyone had ever done it. You know, I guess maybe I fall into that same trap. It's narcissism for sure, but it's a little bit nauseating to listen to. And then you've got Elon, who is more than a little bit on the spectrum, and is really intelligent, but he stammers and stutters a lot when he's trying to talk and make his points and ask questions. And obviously he's not an interviewer, so it was an awkward thing to begin with. But one of the things that I thought was the most amazing and impressive of the entire thing is they actually talked policy. So many times when we hear politicians talk, it's just basically like two kids on the playground picking on each other. All they do is talk about how the other guy sucks and they're so much greater, but they don't actually talk about what they are going to do to solve the problem. Which is why when I started having ideations of public office, I immediately started making YouTube videos going, I'm not just going to sit here and tell you that our border policy is a joke. It is, but here's how you actually fix it. I'm not going to just sit here and tell you that homelessness is a massive problem in our country. It is, but here's how you can actually fix it. Anything that you want to know, I will be happy to make a video on any major topic. Drug addiction, abortion, any of the major political points right now, talking points right now. Anything you think is going wrong in this country, drop it in the comments and I'll make an entire video about exactly how I would solve that problem extremely quickly if I were to ever be elected to office. I don't know why this is such a difficult thing for people to do. Every single problem, see, you're gonna get like the tilting camera because I'm holding it on my steering wheel. It's gonna kind of feel like you're in a roller coaster. Every single problem facing our nation has a very, very, very simple solution. It won't be a solution that is popular though, and that's the problem with politics, is that everybody's trying to be popular, and they're not trying to do what is in the best interest of the country. I've been reading for the first time ever a series of documents known as the Federalist Papers that were written by the Founding Fathers when they were trying to get the American people to agree to create America, basically, because we had 13 independent colonies. And everybody kind of wanted to stay that way. They didn't want to give the federal government any power. And so these documents were written as sort of the talking points to convince the American people or the citizens of each of the 13 free colonies to ratify a constitution to create the United States of America. these were clearly brilliant men who wrote these documents. If you do not have a strong grip on vocabulary, you will have a very hard time reading the Federalist Papers. These people were clearly far more intelligent than, I don't know, 99% of Americans today. And it's sad, it's really disappointing, because the documents are so well written and the points are so well made. And it just goes to show you how hopeless our society is today. Because the average American electorate, the average American who walks into a voting booth doesn't have 1/10 of 1% of the intelligence that the people who founded this nation had. And it is the reason why everything has gone so horribly wrong, because people have gotten stupider and stupider, dumber and dumber over time. And I don't know how this video is going to come out. There's a lot of road noise in this car, so this may be a total loss. I apologize if the audio is no good. If it's not, then I'll be forced to get my Rode mic set up, because I know when I talk to my wife on the car phone in this car, the road noise is horrific. I don't know how this is coming out. But anyway, I would love to make some videos if anybody has any interest in hearing my talking points. Name me any problem that you think is facing America that needs to be solved by the next administration, and I will solve it in 30 minutes time or less. So that was one of the things that oh my God, what the fuck is this idiot doing? That was one of the things I really did enjoy about this asshole just hard braked in front of me for absolutely no fucking reason. This is what I can't cope with on Tren. Get the fuck off the road, dumbass. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Fucking complete idiot, dude. He was probably fucking around with his cell phone and then got startled by somebody crossing lanes in front of him, so he slams on his fucking brakes. So then I have to slam on my brakes, and there was no real problem. He just wasn't paying attention. Anyway, so the cool part about the interview was that they actually did talk about things that would be done to solve problems. One of the things that Trump mentioned that I didn't even know he got accomplished. He was bragging about having gotten something accomplished called, I think it's called Right to Choose, I think is what it was called. Basically, he was talking about the disaster that is the FDA in this country, and how it takes a massively long amount of time to get any new drugs approved. And you've got people who are dying of cancer, and it's like, hey, I don't have 10 years to wait to see if this brand new technology is going to save my life. And so he got a program passed called, I think it's called Right to Choose. Basically, if you're terminal, you can get access to experimental drugs before they pass FDA approval. It's like, oh my God, what a genius idea. Why did it take all the way until the 45th president of the United States for somebody to wake the fuck up and figure out that if a person is dying, we don't need them. We should give them whatever drug they could possibly help them. And it benefits everyone, because here you have a person whose life could be saved by a therapeutic that hasn't been approved, and the drug company that's making the therapeutic gets a human test subject. They get to test on a human being rather than working with monkeys or pigs or lab rats or whatever the early stages of these trials are involved in. It seems like it would be a win-win for everybody. But as Trump said in the interview, people don't want it because they don't want to have to record the data. If you're trying to bring out a new drug to treat whatever condition, and you've got this guy that's terminal, he's probably going to die anyway. You give him your drug. If you're forced to write down his death as being connected to your drug, then obviously that's bad for you, because it's not fair. And I think that they got it accomplished so that doesn't happen. So that people who take advantage of this program, who are in the end stages of a disease, they're basically looking for a miracle. And if it doesn't work, you don't get to hold that against the drug company, and that's the way it should be. So there was just a lot of good stuff. I only heard tidbits. We were watching what the hell is that show? Yellowstone, and I got a notification on my phone that they had started talking. I guess there was like a 45-minute delay because of cyber attacks on X. This whole nightmare situation going on. So if you watched that, I would love to hear your comments in the section below. If you happen to, by some freak chance, be viewing this video and you're actually planning on voting for Kamala Harris, I would love for you to explain your reasoning in the comment section below. Probably so that I can make a Tren Rant video about you. That's what's probably going to happen. Because there basically is zero good. There's basically zero reasons to vote for Kamala Harris. Somebody did a street interview, and they asked this thing. I don't know what it was. I think it was born a girl, and now it's a boy. I think that was the situation. And whatever the proper word is, was basically saying that they were going to vote for Kamala Harris because they were born a girl, and they were then non-binary, and they had an abortion, and they're now a man, and they want access to gender-affirming care, and so they basically are the whole gamut of what, in my estimation, is just all fucked up. This is a person who was born a woman, who decided to be non-binary, got pregnant by somebody, killed the baby, then turned into a man, and doesn't want a president in power that would have prevented any of these things from happening. I can't even probably say on this camera, what I think about this. I will just say this: if that person is your key voter, oh man, we are doomed if you win. I would like to say that those are not the votes you want, but Kamala Harris doesn't care. She would take votes from absolutely any kind of freaked out human being on the face of planet Earth if it will get her elected, so that she can use her progressive ideology to absolutely annihilate what is left of this dying country of ours. Donald Trump is the last best hope. If he is not elected to president in the upcoming election, then you guys should all spend all of the money you have saved. Go do something fun with your families while you still can, because the other shoe is about to fall. I can absolutely promise you that. If Kamala Harris and her progressive army of wingnuts is placed into power in this country, it is over for all of us. Mark my words. I think I will end it at that. I'm getting pretty close here. So, as always, thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next one.